Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hopefully you're hanging in there. Hold on to your hats. A very windy one, Felicia, along the eastern seaboard, and warm, too.
Yeah, and, you know, where we're getting the colder air, it's actually really cold.
Well, with polar vortex, you may be wondering about snow. We wanted to look back so far in the season on how we're doing with the snowfall department, Felicia, because it seems like a lot of us have seen some snow. Where are we standing with average, above average, or below average?
It feels like we've been talking about a ton of snow, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that most of the places that do have a ton of snow are kind of very minute. You know, it's not a ton of snow everywhere, but it's like where you have a lot of it, like Erie. You've had more than 3 feet above average.
So the areas that have been getting a lot of snow have been seen. It's like they're stuck in this pattern.
Right.
It's kind of, we've had the cold air. We've seen some flakes even into much of southern New England, just not enough to really amount to much in New York City. Also into Boston, we've seen just over 1/4 of an inch. You look at Portland, we've seen a few storms recently bump up that total. So we're getting closer to average. But notice Albany, Binghamton, the Great Lakes, many of us are above average when it comes to snowfall.
It's really been a byproduct of elevation and that lake effect snow, because you can see in West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia has only seen about half as much snow as they typically see, but go up in elevation in some of the Allegheny Mountains and you're in well into the feet of snow that you've seen so far.
DC, Baltimore, we're still waiting for our first snows, also there into the Jersey Shore. Now, what about the Midwest? Because, you know, you go back to Halloween, remember it was snowing here in the Twin Cities? That was most of our snow we've seen this season, was even before the winter even began. It's just been so cold, and with that Arctic air, it's too dry.
Right, exactly. I mean, the Arctic air, the cold air can't hold as much moisture, so it's really hard to get snow out of that, unless, of course, you add in the moisture of the Great Lakes that have not frozen over, and you have another place in Sault Ste. Marie that's 3 feet above average. It really is. You can see how much difference that lake effect snow is making.
And that colder air has been able to go far enough south to really boost up our totals. I mean, we're above average in Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Lexington. We've had more snow than Minneapolis.
That's kind of crazy to think about, especially this early in the season. Typically, if you're talking about snow getting that far south, it's, you know, late January or February. Now,
out west, we had such a great start to November, and places like Colorado, Denver, well above average. We've seen nearly 2 feet of snow. Cheyenne, Wyoming, below. Albuquerque below. Salt Lake City, we're almost 9 inches below.
Coming to air travel across the Northeast, but we also have winds that we're dealing with in the Southeast as well. Probably hit you as soon as you stepped out the door in places like Charlotte, Atlanta, because it has been so gusty. We've got a wind advisory for much of Georgia through this evening. Winds could be gusting upwards of 40 miles per hour. That's going to blow those Christmas decorations around, and it's causing some delays at ATL as well. Gusts at 36 here in Atlanta, head down 75 a bit toward Macon, 37 there. I mean, Savannah gusting to nearly 40, same thing in Wilmington. So this is a big part of the story here in the Southeast. If you are driving and maybe you've got a crosswind, the wind blowing across the road that you're on, especially those interstates, you can definitely see those high profile vehicles kind of swinging around a bit. We will start to see those winds coming down just a bit. That's the good news. Coastal areas, you'll stay a bit windier than, say, more inland areas, but tomorrow's not going to be nearly as gusty as today for the Southeast. And the Northeast, it's still going to stay a bit breezy, but not high wind warning breezy. It is, you know, even beyond breezy, I would say it is downright gusty for this region, especially the areas shaded in purple, and that is resulting in just a travel mess. We thought that was going to happen today, and that is exactly what we're seeing. I mean, we've got a ground stop at every single one of your New York area airports there, the big airports there. DCA, we also have a ground stop. Boston is experiencing big delays. And then, of course, I'm surprised we're actually not seeing any more delays than we are. The winds are gusting to nearly 40 in DC, Nantucket nearly 40 as well. So it is just such a travel nightmare out there. Boston, it's going to get worse before it gets better as those winds continue to go up higher.